Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the European Film Academy, Mr. Wim Wenders.
Thank you. Thank you, funny Archangel Queen. I always wondered whether angels could be gay. But this is not about me, this is about you. Actually, all of us. Because all of us in 1988 were 30 years younger. Only Ingmar Bergman was already a wise man, and what a magnificent shepherd we had in him. Nastasia, you remember? You were the one who gave the Academy's first Lifetime Achievement Award for us to Ingmar. And we really needed his experience and his guidance because our cinema was at a crossroads then, and the big question was, would it survive? Because at the end of the 80s, European films had a poor self-confidence. Making films in Europe often meant fighting lonesome battles. There was a headline in the Süddeutsche Zeitung about the founding of the Academy. It said, "The loners get together." The loners get together. Come to think of it, we were a bunch of loners who met in Berlin in November '88 in a split city in a bitterly divided continent. Do you even remember what a fucked up place Europe was? Here in Berlin, we knew better than anywhere else. So we might have been loners, indeed, but we were not losers. Already a year later, in our second meeting in Paris, Europe found itself in the midst of one of the most fundamental changes in history. The wall had just fallen a couple of weeks earlier, and there we were, the same filmmakers from east, west, north, and south, sticking our heads together and hoping for the unbelievable to come true, that the suppression of people, of press, of filmmakers would forever end in a new Europe. And I ask you, has our continent ever been better off than in the 3 decades that followed? That's why I'm sort of mad today. Stocksauer auf Deutsch, furax en français. Dénumeur de perros. And that's why I look like a Spanish fireman. Blow your horn, Archangel, if you're still there. No, they're always gone when we need them. We have to fight a fire that can devour all of us. A fire it's Brandstiftung, what is the English word? Arson. Laid by an old monster that we thought we had buried, called nationalism. The oldest and worst European disease, how could it possibly creep back into our present tense? How can these populist Pied Pipers, with their lies and their cynicism, actually threaten to kill our proudest dreams? Why are so many people turned off by Europe? Why the heck do they look for its future in its rotten past? What's gone wrong? Maybe we didn't care enough. Maybe we allowed it and watched for too long that Europe was based on bureaucracy. Finances and economics are not solid walls. In the end, they're built on nothing but greed and growth. Europe is built on much better walls, more solid ones than money. It is. It is built on glorious ideas on who we are as humans, on who we are as social and cultural beings. Are we fighting enough for these ideas? Did we? Will we? We'll have to. Are you ready? Are we just happy to get by and do well for ourselves? In this case, history will turn us back into loners and losers. So let's prevent these nationalist cheaters from stealing our European future from under our feet. It matters to all of us what happens in Hungary, in Poland, in Russia, Turkey, the Czech Republic, or to see some of these same tendencies grow in our own countries just as well, in France, Great Britain, Germany, Austria, Holland, name them. But falling into big depression is not going to help us. It's going to make things worse. This 30th anniversary today is a sheer miracle in itself. I look at you and I look at a miracle. Let's draw strength from it and remember our optimism and our hopes. Looking at Europe, I still see a great promise. Looking at you, I still see a great promise, still with an inbuilt touch of utopia. It's still a safe haven where most people on this planet would love to be. Europe is not the problem, Europe is the solution. Let's defend it with all our convictions. Let's defend it with all our convictions against the simplifiers, the oligarchs, the enemies of freedom, whether they sit in Moscow, in Washington, or Tehran. Let's make sure the people of Europe know what they're about to risk, what they can lose. We have a common responsibility in Europe and for Europe. A responsibility behind and beyond each of our national borders. And I think that us, the film community, the film family, are in a perfect position to actually make the difference. With our stories, our imagination, our sounds, our characters, our images, we carry a greater responsibility than ever. Our raw materials are the emotion that the Europe of the bureaucrats is missing. We might have been loners, but we're not. We might have been loners, but we're not loners anymore. Over these 3 decades, we gained in solidarity, in identity, in self-assuredness, as family, not as competitors. Let us be winners by responding to the challenges that our societies, our profession, our art and our industry are facing today. I'm really happy to see so many young filmmakers in this room, because we cannot succeed if you, the young ones, don't take over this struggle and make it yours. You need to build on all things European that you take for granted right now. You don't need to start from scratch. You are equipped. You got what it takes. All your films tonight prove that. And the little memory of 30 years proved it even more so. We don't need to move back. You need to move forward. None of us wants to go backwards. You young ones who grew up in the digital age, use all its means and opportunities and weapons to help push Europe and its common language cinema into the future. We, your elders, are still there to back you up. You can count on us. Let's reinvent our home continent as the Europe of culture, with force, with tenderness, and in solidarity, so that our Academy remains the sort of Noah's Ark as which it always appears to me on evenings like this. What a fabulous and strong roof, common roof we have. Long live the Europe of diversity. Long live our rich and free European cinema.